Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Ayush. Today we are going to learn about Python. So it's a new programming language, and we will be learning this whole Python course in series. So let's begin from the first series where we'll be learning about what is Python, how to use it, who made it, how to take input from the user, what are characters, what are variables, Boolean types, all those. Okay, so that's a short summary right there. So let's begin from the basics. Okay. So as you can see from my screen, what is programming? Okay. So from a basic English, like I'm speaking to some other person, he can understand my English because it's a common language. But for computers, for machines, these languages, especially English, cannot be understood. So there comes the translator. So I'm writing a Python code and the translator translate that code into binary language so that the machine could understand. Okay, that is the shortest form how I can explain that. How, okay, so what does the Python do? Like I'm typing a short Python code. The Python code will be translated by through compilers and through interpreters, and then the translator will translate the Python code to binary, and the binary can be understood by our machines. Okay, so yeah, this is our main topic. What is Python? Okay. So Python is an easy and simple language. Okay, and it is free and open source. It's a high-level language developed by Bureau van Rossum, and it's portable to use. Okay, so you can use it in Windows, Apple, as well as in Linux. It's very easy and beginner friendly. That's why most of the developers choose this as their developing skills. Okay, so let's deep into our topic. So let's write our first Python programming code. Let me do it in my Virtual Studio VS Code. So our first code, it's a basic one. Okay, how to write your first Python code. Print. Let's suppose I want to print my name. So that's my name. Run. Yeah, my name has been printed while this window has been popped up, and here's my name. Ayush Mohan. Okay, like if I want to write some more print statement, we can write it like in the double quotes. Okay, make sure you write in double quotes. I will be saying why this in the future series or in the few minutes later. Let's suppose I am 19 years old. I'm 19 years old. Let's print it. Okay. Ayush Mohan, I'm 19 years old. So this is the first Python code that we have written. First code. Okay. Simple, easy, few. Yeah. So let's deep into our topic. What Python character sets? We can use A to Z, capital as well as small. We can use digits from 0 to 9. We can use special symbol like minus, plus, addition, slash, etc. We can also use white space that include blank space, tag, carriage return, new line, and form field. Okay, and other characters like ASCII values, Unicode characters as part of data. Yeah, so this is very important that you should know. That is what is variable. Okay, what is variable? So a variable is a name given to a memory location in a program. So what does that mean? See from this side. Okay, so I'm giving my Python code name as Shraddha. It's a girl. So what does this variable does is that it takes the name of Shraddha and store it in a memory location. Okay, so what does variable is? Variable is a Shraddha. So what it stores? Name. Example 23. What does it store? The age of whom? Shraddha. Same as price, not price of Shraddha. I'm taking that example. Price is 25.99. So 25.99 is stored in price. Coming to memory, as I said, okay, Shraddha is stored in name, stored. So the name is stored here, in this first block, or any other format. It can be stored here, 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 anywhere. 23 age can be stored here, but not in the same, as name. Okay, name and age will not be stored same. Okay, price would be stored, let's suppose here. So name, age, and price. So whenever I will call my name in my Python code, it will be taking the memory from this block. Same as if I'm calling the age, it will be taking the informations from this box. Same as price, it will be taking from this box. Okay, so you can like assign as many values you want, it will be storing it in memory, right? So some rules of identifiers. Like I said, identifiers means this variable. Okay, variables. So identifiers can be combined of uppercase, lowercase letters, digit, or an underscore. Example like my variable. You can use that as an identifier. Variables underscore one and variable underscore four underscore print. All those are the valid Python identifier. But what you can't use is the digits coming in front of any variable. You can use the digit after a variable, but not in the before a variable. So that's wrong. Okay. And also you can't use any special characters or symbols to an identifier. And also it can be of any length, like variable is my friend, like variable underscore is my underscore friend. You can as long as it could be. Okay. So one more thing which I want to tell. So what is this print here? What does this print means? So the print means it's a function. Print is a function and the brackets are the containers you can say that will be printing what you are writing in the double quotes, right? So, okay, coming to the data types, first we will be understanding more about what we have learned. Okay, so we have learned about this thing, how to write a simple Python code. Now we will be learning how the variables will be using. Let's suppose we have name equal to double scope Ayush. Okay, so what is name? Name is a variable. I said, okay, Ayush is stored in name and the name is stored in the memory. So whenever I will call name, it will be giving the name Ayush. That's me, right? Yeah. So what does most of the student do is that while writing this print statement, they will be using the double quotes. They will be using the double quotes and writing name. So what does this would print? Interesting, right? Let's run it. First of all, let's clear this so that you can understand. Yeah. Name. Why not it is showing Ayush? See, I have given the name Ayush as the name. The name is stored in the memory, but whenever I'm calling the name, it's showing name. Why? That's the most of the Python beginners will be doing this mistake. What you have to understand is that you don't have to use this double quotes. So whatever is in the print statement, inside the print statement, like inside the brackets of the print statement, if it's in a double quote, it will be as it is showing the thing which are inside the double quotes. Okay, so this is the main mistake that most of the beginners would be doing, right? So also in Python, let's suppose a equal to b. What does this mean? A equal to b. What does this mean? This means it is always same from the right side to the left side. Means from B side to A side. That B is equal to A, not A is equal to B. As I said, Ayush is equal to me. Okay, understood, right? Yeah. And next thing, let's move on. So those are some basics things that you're learning. Now let's deep into our topic. That is data types. We have almost five type of data types. That is integer. You would know, right? I will be saying this about more. So integer, string, float, boolean, and none. What does this mean, right? So integer is something negative, positive numbers, +2, +9, -1, 0, from minus infinity to plus infinity. That does what integer mean. What does string mean? String is a name, like Ayush, whatever the thing which is written in double quotes. It could be number if you're writing it in double quotes. It could be float. I will be saying what does float mean. Okay. It could be boolean. I will be saying what does that mean. So string is whatever in this world which is written in double quotes. That's it. That's what string means. Coming to float, what does float means? Float is something which is like 2.22, whatever that dot contains. Whenever this is there, this is boolean, right? This is boolean. This is string and something which is like 445. Let's suppose 45. This is an integer. Like, so boolean is clear. Sorry, float is clear. Whatever the number which is in point digits, that is float. Let's suppose what, okay, now what is boolean? So boolean is something which is true or false, which will be giving you the result 0 or 1. Okay, that is what boolean means. True or false. And none. Like if you are storing like a equal to none, what does that mean? That a has none values. Now we don't want to give any values to a. Okay, so those are the five data types that we have learned. Now let's do one thing, which is like, let's suppose what we have learned from here. Let's suppose age equal to 18 have given. Print type of age. Pause the video and say what will the result be given here. Let's clear this out. Okay. So what will the result given here? Age is equal to 18. Print type of age. What does type mean? Type will be showing you the what is the type of data type age contains. So what is age here? Age is an integer. Type of age showing you it would be integer. See, class integer is an integer right here in the cots there, right? Let's suppose, let's go with one more example of Boolean, okay? So that concept will be clear, simple, sweet, easy. Old equal to false, okay? Let's suppose one more, none. Boolean and none. Let's suppose A equal to none. Old equal to false, A equal to none. print type of old as well as print type of A. So what I said, recall. So old equal to false. What does that mean? It's a Boolean, right? True or false, what does that mean? Boolean. A equal to none? None. Okay, let's run our code and see what that what does this shows. So yeah, first one is the old, that's a Boolean, and second one is a none type. As I said, right? Simple, sweet, easy. Okay, yeah, these are the types. Like age is an integer, pi is a float, complex number is a complex something. Okay, a is a Boolean, string, name, right? Also, have you noticed that I have not written false as false? Why it is showing some underlying value to the false? False. Why? Because Python is a case-sensitive language. What does that mean? Python is a case-sensitive language. So, okay, so if you have learned SQL or DBMS, there you have seen that if you're writing false or false, it may be true. It is true because that's not a case sensitive language. SQL is not a case sensitive language, but Python is a case sensitive language. Here, the capital F and the small f are different, two different things. Same with the none. If you're writing none small, the n, the first letter of the n is small, then it's wrong. Right, that's why it is showing the red, zigzag line under there. It's a case sensitive language. Okay. So like see, this two are different. Apple with a capital A and the small a on the right hand side of the apple are two different things in Python. Okay, right? So those are the few things. Let's move on to the next topic. Like, what is keywords? So, what are keywords? Keywords are the reserved words in Python to use in a variable name, right? So, like, C, for should be uppercase, as I said. F should be capital, not small, right? So, if you are using small f, that's wrong. Okay, so these are some of the few keywords that you should not use in your variable name. Like, I can't use and equal to Ayush like this. Why can't I use this? Because these are the reserved keywords. They have different meanings in Python. Return means different in Python, in means different, else means different. So you can't use these things as your variable name in Python, right? Yeah. So, okay. So we will do the questions, and there are more things to learn from here. That is, there are two types of languages, implicit and explicit. So where does Python come? So Python comes in implicit. Okay, now what does this mean, implicit and explicit? So implicit means that does not need what type of data you are giving. Explicit means that you have to give the type of data that you are giving. Okay, now that would be very cost. I know that. So like I have learned C So in general, in C, what we used to do is like int age equal to 6, 7. Okay, but it's in C language, right? Not in Python. But in Python, we don't need to give this int right here. You can easily write age equal to 6, 7, right? So Python is an implicit, C language or C++ plus plus is an explicit, where you have to give the type of data. Okay, so those are the two languages right there. And next thing, one more thing we have to learn, that is comments in Python. Okay, so before that, we will be writing a code of printing sum of two digits. Okay, very easy code, very simple code. So what would you do? Let's suppose we are naming a variable which should not be a keyword. I repeat that. Let's suppose a equal to 5, b equal to 9, print a plus b. It's a basic calculation. Come on. Yeah, 14 right there. Okay, so same thing you can do it with negative sign, minus 4. 5 minus 9 minus 4. Multiplication, 9 fives are 45, right? So these are the basics thing that you can do. So that is our second code. Okay, in future we will be taking the input from the user. Here we are giving the user, the machine, the like we are giving the variable like 5 equal a equal to 5. In future, and like in the next in the same series, we will be learning about how to take this 5 from the user and we will be printing the value, whether it would be sum, multiplication, negative, or divide. Right? Easy, right? Yeah. So this is our second code. Let's clear this up. Coming to what is comments. Okay, so comments are something which you don't want to show, like you want to show it to the client or the business team, but it's for you. It makes the program look simple, readable, easy. So comments are not be printed in your window, which is here. Comments will not be printed in your output thing. Okay, comments are for you guys, for me, everybody. It makes the code easy to read, right? So how to write comments in Python? Let's suppose I'm writing one code. This is one code, right? And one more code, like if I want to show this thing, such as is my like print Ayush is my name. So I can write Ayush is my name. See, there's no such error that is coming popping up on my screen while writing these comments. Why? Because that's a comment. Okay, that is for us, not for the compiler or the computer. There you go. And if there's some mistake in my code and I have to rectify it, I can directly write hashtag here. So that's a it's commented out, right? So now this thing would not be getting printed. Okay. So if you want to write multi-line comment, then you can use these three hashtags over here, colon over here, so that you can write multi-line comments. Okay. Now what is the types of operator? Okay. Now what does that operator means? Okay. Coming to the types, first we will be learning about what are operators. So in mathematics, what does operator means? Certain symbols, certain special characters. like addition, subtraction, multiplication, is equal to, and, or, not. Those are the operators. Okay, so in Python, there are four types of operators. First is arithmetic operators that contains addition, neg multiplication, negative, subtraction, divide, ampersand, right? Relation operator, that means let's suppose 5 is equal to 5. What does that bring? True, right? Because 5 is equal to 5. And let's suppose 5 is equal to 6. It's a false. The second thing that you can see here is not equal to. Like 5 is not equal to 6. What does that bring? True, right? And greater than, smaller than, greater than, equal to, smaller than, equal to. That those are the relationship comparator operators. Coming to the assignment operators, which will be containing equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to, okay, and logical operators that contains not, and or. Okay, those are some things. Now type conversion. So in the first code that you can see, a and b equal to 1 comma 2.0. So a is a integer. B, what does b means? It's a boolean. It's a not boolean. It's a floating value. It's 2.0. This sum would be easily like b 3.0, 3.0, right? Now here is what the error comes. If a is equal to 1, it's an integer, and b is equal to double quotes 2. What does that mean? It's a string. And like even the kid knows that you can't add a number with a name. You can add a float digit with an integer, but not an integer with a string, right? That will be throwing an error on your compiler. Also typecasting. Now, why does this code right here and this code right here don't show any error, while this code shows an error and this code doesn't show an error? So here is what gets interesting, that is typecasting. So what does typecasting means? Okay, so you are assigning the value of b equal to the string, that is 2, as integer into C. So the 2 gets converted into the integer, and the integer is stored in C. And the sum would be showing you A plus C, that is 3. Sum would be 3. Okay, that what's typecasting means. And these are some basics thing that typecasting means, okay, that you can easily go through. Now, it's the most important part of this video lecture, that is how to take input in Python. How you can take input from the user and you can do various mathematical, arithmetic operations that you want to write in your code. Okay, so be careful while learning this. How to take input from the user, input in Python. Okay, so this thing right you can see here is input bracket. Statement is used to accept value using keywords from users. So the input bracket is a keyword. You can't use this as your variable name, right? As I said, input bracket is a keyword reserved word in Python. Okay, so you can use input to take the input from the user. Okay, if the input you want to take is a string, You can directly write input bracket. If you want to take the input from the user, that is some digits, especially some integers. I'm saying not floating value, it's an integer. You can use int. If you want to take input from the user, which is floating value, you can use float, bracket input, and then bracket and brackets. Okay, simple, right? Yeah. Now let's do some questions which will make our concept more stronger. So here's a question. Write a program to input two numbers and print their sum. Okay, so if you have seen it earlier, what did I just do? A equal to 5, F6, B equal to 7, and I have printed the sum A plus B. This is what I done. Okay, now you have to take the input. What does the question mean? Write a program to input two numbers. You have to like the user have to give two numbers and then print the value. In this code, we have already given the input. We have not taken the input from the user. Okay, so let's do this question. So how to take the input from the user? From the input keyword, right? So let's suppose a equal to, so what the number is, what I'm taking the number, it's just saying that take two numbers. Let's suppose the enter is integer, not floating value. Let's suppose the two number which we are giving to the user is an integer. So let's a equal to integer input, enter your first number, right? It will be taking the input. Okay, I will be showing you this. It will make you not confused, right? The second number, we will be giving the variable name as b. Enter your second number. Now we'll be printing the sum, right? To print the sum, you can either assign the value of a plus b to the sum, or you can directly sum the value. So if you're directly summing the value, you can do it as you wish. Let's suppose sum equal to a plus b equal to a plus b, print sum. What does this show? Enter your first number, 6. Enter your second number, 7, 13. Voila. Okay. Let's clear this up and make our code. Okay, that's a spelling mistake. Yeah. Make our code more good. Okay. So without assigning the value of sum equal to a plus b, you can either do this or you can either do this one, which I'm doing right now. That is, you can print the sum is uh, a plus b. You can either do this or either do this one. The first one or the second one, as you wish. Okay, which one is more comfortable? Can but just the difference is that you can write the sum as to this one. Also, you can write to that one, but as you wish you want. Let's suppose you the first number as 5, second number as 5, sum is 10. Right. So this is how you can take input from the user. Our first question is done. Okay. Okay, so you have to take input from the user, input a side of a square and print its area. Okay. this, how, okay. So let's clean this up so that everything is visible. Okay, so what was the question? You have to take two inputs from the user and square the one side of the area to other side. Simple, right? Area of the square, side into side. Okay, let's suppose. Okay, now let's take the side as the floating value. Side equal to float, float, input, enter the side of square. Okay, so we have taken the input from the user, the side of the square, and now I will be printing the area, area equal to side, multiply by side, and we will be printing the value. The area of the square is comma area. Let's run this. Let's suppose the area of one side of the square is 6. The area of the square is 36.06 dot 6. Okay, why does this dot O is coming? Because we have taken the input from the user, that is floating value. Let's suppose we are giving the floating value, that is 3.3. If we're giving you the area of the square is 10.899999, right? That's what float means, right? Okay, now that is our second question. Average of two numbers. Same thing you can do. Same thing. Let's do this question. You have to take the average of two numbers. Same. Let's okay. So now just clear this up. Yeah. So now we have to take average of two numbers. Let's suppose the number one is the variable of one should be a. I've given the variable name as a equal to, let's suppose we are giving this the value floating input. And now that is something which I know. Okay. Input, enter your first number. Okay, now this enter your first number. That will be taking the number first, same as here. The second thing, B, enter your second number. Now average of two numbers, average equal to A plus B divided by 2. Okay, that is the average of two numbers. Come on. Yeah. Now we are printing this. Now it's your wish that you can write this thing, the average Number is average. Right. Boom. Enter your first number. Let's say take some small numbers. Okay. Okay. Not there. We have to write here. Let's take two small number. Two. Second number, two. Voila. The average of two numbers is 2.0. Let's take floating digits. Let's take some big digits. Okay. Like 4.55 and 678.99. The average of that two number is 41.76999. It's keep going now. Okay. So that's the average of two numbers right there. And okay, this one, the question right here is pretty interesting. Okay, it's the last question of the series. That's a pretty interesting one. Okay, take two inputs, integer number a and b, print true if a is greater or equal to b. If a is greater than b, if not, print false. Boolean question, right? Let's take this. Yeah, let's do this one. Interesting. Okay. Oh, let's suppose a equal to integer, right? The question was to take integer, two numbers from the user, like enter. Okay, let's write this. Enter your first number, same as enter your second number, enter your second number. That is, let's take the variable name as b, second number. And now, if a is greater than b, it should print true. If it's not, then it should print false. That's what the question is, right? So what I can do here, I can directly write print a is greater than equal to b. Okay. If the a is greater than equal to b, it will be showing true, or else it will be showing false. Let's go. Let's suppose we are taking a as 5, not there. Let it be, yeah. Let's take enter your first number 5, enter your second number 2, true. Why it's true? Because 5 is greater than. Let's take one more scenario. Enter your first number 5, enter your second number 9. False. Okay. That is what our question is, and we have completed the question. Right. Simple, easy. So this is a series number one where we have learned about everything about what is Python, about our first code we have written, variables, characters, what is memory, rules, literal, comments, keywords, everything. Okay, operators, typecasting. We have practiced some questions over here. Okay, so this is the first series. Let's see you guys in the second lecture of the class Python. That's it. Thank you.